outside City Hall.
Thank you. And the first item?
First item is Director of Community Development regarding request to note and file the fiscal year 2014-15 low moderate income housing asset annual report. At 1A is City Council motion to note and file the fiscal year 2014-15 low moderate income housing asset annual report in accordance with California Health and Safety Code 34176.1F.
Thank you. Mr. Ochoa.
Yes, sir.
Your microphone.
Every year we have to comply with the state of California requirement to do the housing asset fund update, and there are a series of tests that have to go along with that. I'll bring up Ann Bockenkamp, who prepared the report, to give you a brief overview of our activity and what it ultimately means to low mod housing in Glendale. Ann?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Garpetian, Housing Authority Chair, members of the Housing Authority and City Council. I'm here to report that for the year 2014-15, there were $3.9 million in deposits to the Low Mod Income Housing Asset Fund. This is the fund that was transferred, all the housing assets that were transferred from the redevelopment agency at the time it was dissolved to the Housing Authority. Much of the information in this report was found in the 2014-15 comprehensive annual financial report, which will be presented to the City Council this evening by the Finance Department. They have reported on the deposits to the fund, $3.9 million, expenditures, $4.5 million, transfers, none, the year-end fund balance, $9.2 million, which includes the value of the property that is held in that fund, which is the 5th and Sonora site, which is worth $6 million. The two tests that are required at this time include a senior housing test, which requires us to calculate the percentage of senior housing units, affordable housing units, that were constructed in the last 10 years as a percentage of all of our affordable housing units constructed. If this percentage is greater than 50%, then we have to restrict the use of our affordable housing funds in the future until we come below that 50% figure. The City of Glendale was below that figure. Also, we're to report on first-time homebuyer units that are no longer restricted in this fund and why that happened and what repayments were made to the fund. There were 18 units since 2012, the dissolution of redevelopment, that are no longer restricted. 17 of these were because of the homeowners sold their property to other property owners, and one was due to foreclosure of the owner because they passed away without heirs, and that resulted in $1.1 million repaid to the fund since 2012. Any questions that I could answer for you on this?
I have one question. So, in past 10 years, out of 331 units that was constructed, only 17 were?
That's correct. Cypress Senior Living. The remainder were
to the previous 30 years, where the predominant number of units were senior housing.
Got it.
Yes.
And
overall, we have 53% of the affordable housing units constructed since 1978 are senior rental housing units that are still in operation.
Okay. So total that we constructed, it was 1124. Out of that 1124 is 594, which is 53% since 1978. I got it. All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Can you tell us about the homeowner units, the homeowner unit test? So 17 of them reverted. 17 were lost, or 18 were lost.
Our first-time homebuyer program that was created back in 1995 required the homeowners simply to sell their properties and pay us back our principal, and any appreciation was shared between the home seller and us, the Housing Authority, so they were not restricted. They did not have to resell those properties to other low or moderate income home buyers.
I see. Okay. And is that program still in
No, we no
existence?
longer have that program, except as it relates to new construction, largely with Habitat for Humanity.
Okay, I see. Okay. This is the annual report.
Was that program through Washington Mutual?
Initially, Home Savings, then Washington Mutual was one of the many banks that took over that program. and Chase is currently the first mortgage lender on most of these properties.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay, this is a motion to note and file. Would someone like to make that motion?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Council members Devine,
Yes.
Friedman,
Yes.
Garpetian,
Yes.
Sinanian, Mayor Najarian.
Yes.
Maybe do we need a roll call from?
No, that was
No,
None is required.
it's a council
Sorry, Chair.
motion.
And I should make a note that on the agenda, people may have noticed that there is an address in New York listed for the Brown Act posting. This was supposed to be the location from which Council Member, Minority Member Sinanian would be calling into this meeting. Unfortunately, we were unable to make that posting. That posting did not occur, therefore he is not calling in, but he will be calling in from a different location for the next special meeting to follow this one.
Okay. Is there a motion to adjourn for the council?
So moved.
Second.
Council's adjourned.
Is there a motion to adjourn Housing Authority?
So
So
moved.
moved. Second.
Housing is adjourned.
Okay.
Take care, Joe.
Bye.
And there's
See you.
one more joint meeting. I call to order the joint meeting